Good. Good morning, folks. It is a fine, good morning, folks. It's a fine Tuesday morning, and I just felt inspired to, after I've been up a few hours, enjoy the sunshine, and also make a video for you. Why not? We've had some requests for salsa with the manual food processor, and so now is as good a time as any to give it a shot. I've actually never made this Pico de Gallo recipe, the salsa recipe, in the manual food presser. This will be my first shot. So we're just doing this together for the first time together. So isn't that exciting? I know for folks on my in my parties right now, if you're watching on your party page, I won't be able to see your comments. So you're best to, I shared it to the group so that it would be there later, but you're best to go onto my business page, Come Cook with Ursula and Pampered Chef, and watch there, and then I'll see your comments. My hair is still a little messy. I'm still in my gym jams and just showing how easy this is to just do and fit into the little bits of time that us busy people have in our lives to promote a business. My daughters just asked, can we stay in our pajamas all day? Because we did that on Sunday. We will talk about that, because actually I don't think we have to go out other than going for a walk. So we could stay in our gym jams if we wanted all day. It's nice for that to be a treat. I see somebody's watching. Whoop, whoop, how exciting. Maybe it's Melissa. After I did the little plug. Oh, 2 people are watching. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so I'm going to get started. I'm just going to angle this down. And oh my God, I can't not cook this early. Oh my God, I can so cook this early. But I get up ridiculously early these days. So this is like lunchtime already for me. So I'm just going to angle this down so you can see what I'm cooking. So this is kind of cool. All right. So I got the manual food processor. The trick with this, because I've done it in a big food processor, so I almost lied there and said I'd never done it. I'd never done it with this food processor. I've done it with a bigger one, which if you're going to make more than a couple of cups of salsa would be a good idea if you're canning. But if you're just making it for your family for the evening, when I make a couple cups for a party, it's a perfectly good size. So you want to start with the ingredients that you need to be the finest, and that would be the garlic. Of course, you want that to be super small. I'm going to toss that in there. I'm just going to give it a blend. Pretty fine there. That is minced. Really nice. I mean, it's okay because it's going to keep getting smaller and smaller as I'm adding the other things. So, but it's already pretty good. And there's no like chunks that didn't get caught by the blade. Pretty cool. Okay. Then I'm going to add the pepper, the chili. So this is just like a little 3-inch serrano chili. You can use jalapeno. Just depends on what your favorite chili is. And my sister keeps messaging me. I don't think she knows that I'm going live. Hee hee. So any kind, whatever your favorite is. This just seemed to be the right size for me. Jalapenos are a little bit on the bigger side. So what you want to do with peppers or chilies, you just take off the top and then slice it open. And inside you got seeds and you got pith. And that's the spicy part, is the seeds and pith. So if you like it really spicy, you can throw it in right like that. If you like it a little milder, sort of a medium, you're going to do what I'm going to do, and you're going to take a spoon and you're just going to scrape that stuff out. And you're going to throw that in, scrape. And the nice thing about using a spoon is you don't end up with like hot stuff under your fingernails, and then you touch your face and then you have a big owie. So that's no fun. Even just me touching it like that, I'm going to rinse my fingers so that I don't do that. Give them a little wipe on my apron. Okay. So just closing out a little comment there. Have to figure out how to turn off my messenger notifications while I'm doing videos. Okay, so I'm gonna give the chilies a little pop. Okay, that's looking good. Nice and fine, really nice. Wow, I'm really impressed with this thing. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is some onion. I'm just gonna like quarter it. So I think the recipe calls for 1/2 cup of onion, if I recall correctly. So that's about 1/2 of an onion. This is red onion. You can use white, just depends on what you like. I like the color of the red. It's a little bit sweeter. They're not as cheap, so you know the white is perfectly yummy too. So this is just what I've got. So I'm going to throw that in quartered. Give that a blend. Okay, nice, a little bit more. Okay, that's looking pretty good. It'll get a little smaller because I'm adding more stuff. Next, I'm going to add the tomatoes. And I'm going to add the cilantro. I'm just going to do it at the same time. So it's like 3 Roma tomatoes, as ripe as possible. The riper, the better. The sweetness of the ripe tomatoes is really what you need for anything. It's also included. Okay, and then I haven't overloaded this thing. I've found while I've been using it that if things get a little bogged down, just give it a little shake. Just like a blender, just give the whole thing a little, and then continue on, and that seemed to help. So, 4 people are watching. This is exciting. Who else is watching? Comment. I'd love to know who's watching. If I know you, Joelle is watching me. Oh, Joelle is watching her game. She is playing on the iPad while I do this to kind of keep the world going around. What's that? She is playing. We've been getting into the world of these iPad games, which I haven't gotten into before this pandemic. So that's a whole new world. Okay, so yeah, so it's getting pretty full. I'm gonna add my liquids, and I think that's gonna just let everything kind of settle to the bottom and get liquidy and blendy. I think the mixture is just a little dry. I've just got a few bigger chunks of tomato. Oh, actually, it's still looking pretty good so far. So I'm gonna add my liquids. Oh, I forgot one thing. Okay, so I'm doing some lime juice. Of course, fresh squeezed lime. You know what? What the heck? I'm gonna do some fresh squeezed lime. So I'm gonna do a half a lime, fresh squeezed. I don't have a Pampered Chef citrus tool yet, but I do have a reamer, which I quite like, if I can find it. Okay, not finding the reamer. Okay, scratch that, no reamer. I'll just squeeze it by hand, that's fine. So half a lime. Just gives it that nice bright tang. There's nothing like acidity. Don't overlook acidity in your cooking. It brightens up flavors, particularly citrus. Like sometimes with a sauce that you wouldn't think lemon juice would brighten up, you put some lemon and it brightens it up like it does, like salt does. It's incredible. I watched this Netflix show called Fat, Acid, Fire, and Sweet, I think, or something like that. And it gave me this concept of the acidity, and it's really affected my cooking in a cool way since watching that. So, okay, some cumin, about a half a teaspoon, salt. You gotta season the food. Some cooks like to allow the eater to season the food at the table. I think I like to season it mostly, and then people can add a little more at the table, but that it's kind of served the way that I'm hoping they're going to eat it. I think most chefs kind of, not that I'm a chef, but I think most chefs kind of feel like that, where they get offended when people add salt to their dishes. A little bit of red wine vinegar, kind of like just a little splash of olive oil. The better the olive oil possible. This isn't even like amazing olive oil, but it's a Western family organic, unfiltered Mediterranean olive oil. This thing was 750 milliliters for $10, which is pretty good. So it's a little splash of that. And just a little sprinkling of sugar. Anything with tomatoes really responds nicely to like just a half a teaspoon. Just kind of adds that umami, right, that we're going for. Okay, and I'm going to put my lid back on here, and I'm going to give it oh yeah. And I'm going to give it a shake because I've kind of got some bits that are kind of lodged on the side, just like with a regular food processor. They just kind of get hung up because they're too dry and they stick to the side. So I just give them a little push down into the rest of the yummy goodness there. And I'm going to give it one more. The look of myself right now is kind of intolerable. Woo. Oh, Ginny Joy. Hi, Ginny. How are you? Nice to see you on the internet. How cool. Thanks for watching, Ginny. Okay. Here we go. And I'm going to give it one more go. Because I like it pretty fine. Some people like it chunkier. And with this thing, you can just, the longer you go, the finer it will be. So just do less if you like it chunkier. So there we go. There is my beautiful salsa. And this salsa is better if it sits. So if you're having a party and you're doing chips and dip, make it at lunchtime for a party at 5. And honestly, your guests are going to go, wow, this salsa is amazing. I'm going to post the recipe. And so the cool thing about this manual processor too, and I love this about Pampered Chef, they give you a lid for just about everything. So your food processor jar here, the container that I have made the food in, can also be my storage in the fridge, which saves dishes. Woo! Love that. So I'm going to pop this in the fridge, and then I'm going to dream up something for dinner that we're going to eat it with. I don't know. Maybe I'll make enchiladas. That would be kind of fun. Maybe I'll make enchiladas in my new rock crock pan. So some of the other things that I used a scraper. This is the classic scraper. This was like a special promotion item, the orange. I don't think it's available anymore. They're all white. You might be able to get a pink one now, but anyway, the classic scraper. I got the utility knife, the manual food processor, which is a really hot item right now. Rena wanted to see it. Rena, check. We did it. We did the salsa, which is pretty exciting. And then I have some measuring cups. That's a nice set. And I was chopping everything also on these flexible cutting mats. You get 3 for like $20. So if you are a student or you don't have a lot of room in your place, and they're thin and durable and tuck away and take up 0 space. So that's kind of a nice, reasonably priced item. Yeah, and oh, Melissa says, look awesome and so easy. I know, right? It's so easy, especially with this. Like when you got your knife out and you're chopping all these things, a little more involved, but that was like, how long have I been on here? 5 minutes? So easy, ridiculously easy. And the freshness, you can't beat it compared to the salsa that you're going to buy in the jar. It's just so much more ketchup-y, those type of salsas. This is more like a que pasa or a Fresh's Best salsa, except you've made it yourself so you can brag. So that's worth a whole lot in my book. Thank you so much for watching. I see there's 3 people watching. I'm amazed. 803. And we'll see you soon. Thanks for tuning in. And if you're watching this later in the day, comment. Let me know. I'm going to post the recipe in all the places where people will want to see it. Okay, take care, guys. See you soon.